Hey guys, welcome back. How is everybody? I hope you had a great lunch. I had a protein shake. I am not hungry anymore. You guys don't talk about food. So we are still on Christina Hanley. We are on her direct. She is a lab scientist from the state crime lab. Yeah, state crime lab. I did nothing productive during the break. I had a protein shake and I watched YouTube shorts. So I did nothing at all productive. Hey, Judy. Hey, Nancy. Hey, Jill. I am glad that we are all back together again. Ooh. What? Ooh. It was a good protein shake. It was pumpkin spice flavored. It was very good. I have good, good protein shakes. I don't have the crappy kind that come in a bottle. I mix my own from very expensive stuff. It's like the only thing that I splurge on is my protein shake and my energy drinks. I have good, healthy energy drinks too. They're not the kind that's full of caffeine and sugar. They're healthy energy drinks from Herbalife. We're flying on our brooms again. You seriously took a bubble bath in an hour? If I'm gonna take a bubble bath. If I'm gonna take a bubble bath, I'm gonna chill. Like the water's gonna get cold, and I'm gonna let some out and add some more warm water. Like I'm gonna read a book. I'm gonna have like snacks. I haven't done that in years. I miss my hot tub. Man, darn that hurricane that threw my hot tub into the barbed wire fence and popped it. Darn that hurricane. Darn it. No, I don't want to fly now. I'll fly later in my video game. I cleaned my computer. I restarted my computer. Hopefully, hopefully it will work better this time. Glare opinion is jury leaning towards defense. They seem to really like when Alyssa crosses. The Glare says no reaction and didn't notice any note taking from jury during neurosurgeon testimony. Yeah, I think he was a bit of a nothing burger. I think that I think that I was worried about him because in the pretrial hearing, Brennan said that he was going to say that was the only way to get a contractile injury, and it's not. So I was like, oh no, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's going to get up there and start seeing a bunch of crap that's not medically correct. And I was going to be, all upset about him. But he didn't say that. And then Alessi did not make this a long, drawn out cross. He asked just very pointed questions that was relevant to say that there were inconsistent injuries to getting to just falling backwards and hitting his head on the ground. And that's all that Alessi needed to point out. And therefore, there was no reason to redirect. And then the guy was gone. So it didn't even really change anything. Like, it was almost like it didn't even matter. Hey, Robbie. I have a pool, but we put it in. It's an above ground. So I shouldn't say we put it in. We put it up. After my chemo was done, but before all of the immunocompromisation, that's not a word. Before my immune level was back to normal, I was still immune compromised. So I thought I was out of the woods. I thought we're going to put my pull up. I'm going to be able to go out there every day and just chill and float and read my book on my float because I had a Kindle. Yeah, that's the problem, Jill. It was too much maintenance. Number one, I'm a klutz and I was very afraid of the acid. I did not want to burn myself. So I would check the water. I would go with Travis to the pool store because I would understand because I grew up with pools, with in-ground pools as a kid. So I understood what I needed to do. So when they would tell me what chemicals I needed, what chemicals needed to go in the pool, I understood all that stuff. I knew how to test it. I tested it. I told Travis, this is what we need to do. But then we do it, but then he wouldn't want to do it. And then we would have troubles. And so then we'd have to go back and they'd say, okay, well, then you need to do this instead. So it was really, really hard to keep up. Yeah, we wanted to do the salt water too, but that would have been really expensive to get started. Once you get started, then it's easier maintenance, but it's the price to get started. And so I ended up um I have something called I don't even know, I'm not even sure I know how to say it. It's called HS for short. The initials are HS, so they call it HS. And it's like these little they're like little cysts. And one of them got infected and I ended up in the hospital on IV antibiotics to get this thing to heal up. And it was just a little cyst and it ended up being a giant sore that was about that long. I had like this giant I had to go to the wound care center for like 6 months. It was horrible. So of course I couldn't get in the pool because I had an open sore. So my pool, my backyard. Not only that, if we were to drain it and start over, the liner is starting to get all frayed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Ms. Ham.
So we would have to buy a new liner and everything, which Travis says would probably be as expensive as buying a new pool, which he would not want to do and keep up anyway. So I guess I'm just going to have to be happy with going to the springs. So my dream of having a pool in my backyard again is never going to happen. But I miss my pool so much.
Hanley, when we left off, you were discussing the comparative analysis you did between item 7-18.18, Mr. O'Keefe's in the taillight housing car, correct?
Correct.
And there were a number of different instruments that you used in the course of your exam and analysis, correct?
That's correct.
And what were those instruments that you used again in that portion of the analysis?
Sure. So I used a polarized light microscope, a comparison microscope, an FTIR, and a microspec.
And Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
showing you 3 documents. If you could review those a couple minutes, please. And do you recognize those?
Yes, I do.
And starting with the first page of that 3 pages, what do you recognize that?
It is the FTIR comparison data for the clear plastic from item 3-1 and the clear plastic from item 7-18.18.
If I could direct your attention to the second page within that, what do you recognize that?
So this is also FTIR comparison data from for the red plastic from item 3-1 and item 7-18.18.
And lastly, the third page within that set, what do you recognize that?
So this is the comparison data from the microspec from the red plastic from the item 3-1 and the red plastic from 7-18.18.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth will seek to introduce and admit as the next 3 exhibits individually.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You want them marked individually or are you going to set?
Individually, please. Thank you.
Exhibits 202, 203, and 204.
Thank you.
And again, Ms. Hanley, when it came to your analysis of the clear plastic material from the debris from John O'Keefe's clothing and the clear plastic material from the defendant's taillight, what were your conclusions from that analysis?
Sure. Upon comparison, the clear plastic from item 7-18.18 was found to be consistent in color and instrumental properties with the clear plastic from item 3-1. Accordingly, the clear plastic from 7-18.18 could have originated from the clear plastic from item 3-1 or from another source with the same characteristics.
Thank you. Your Honor, may I publish, and I'm sorry, I forgot already the
Yes.
exhibit numbers, but
Yes.
Ms. Gilman, if I could have the clear plastic. And Ms. Hanley, can you describe for the jury what we're looking at in this, what's up on the screen right now?
Sure. So this is the FTIR comparison data of the clear plastic from item 3-1 and the clear plastic from item 7-18.18.
And Ms. Hanley, if you could, using the laser pointer before you, if you could direct the jury's attention to which is which as far as top and bottom.
Sorry. The top,
Sorry, I apologize, Your Honor.
That's okay.
the top spectrum is item 3-1 and the bottom spectrum is item 7-18.18.
And Ms. Hanley, when you're comparing these two as far as the data that you receive, what is it specifically that you're looking at in your comparison as far as the data is concerned?
So when I'm comparing the spectra, I'm looking at the peaks in each sample to determine if they are consistent or not consistent.
Thank you. And if I could turn your attention to the red plastic material from the debris from Mr. O'Keefe's clothing and the red plastic from the passenger side taillight of the defendant's vehicle, what did you conclude in your analysis there?
So upon comparison, the red plastic from 7-18.18 was found to be consistent in color, microscopic appearance, and instrumental properties with the red plastic from item 3-1. So accordingly, the red plastic from 7-18.18 could have originated from the red plastic from item 3-1 or from another source with the same characteristics.
Thank you. And Ms. Gilman, if I could have the red plastic data. And Ms. Hanley, directing your attention to the screen again with the laser pointer, if you could delineate for the jury as far as which set of data is associated with which item.
So the top spectrum is item 3-1 and the bottom spectrum is item 7-18.18.
And again, if you could just direct the jury's attention with that laser pointed to the areas as far as the data peaks and valleys that you're looking at in comparison of this data.
So when I'm comparing them, I'm comparing the peaks to each other in each of the spectra to determine if they are consistent or not consistent.
And in this case, you found them to be consistent. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And Ms. Gilman, lastly, if I could have the microspec data. And Ms. Hanley, if you could describe for the jury, please, what are we looking at in this particular data set?
So this is the comparison data from the microspec of the red plastic from item 3-1 and the red plastic from 7-18.18.
And as far as the data in any microspec, but particularly this one up on the screen, using that laser pointer, could you illustrate to the jury sort of what these individual lines or what this data means?
So these are the samples that I ran, and they samples that I ran from item 3-1 and 7-18.18, and the spectra are overlaid in order to determine to look at it and to determine whether they have a consistent or not consistent pattern.
And from overlaying the data from the pieces of plastic from Mr. O'Keefe's clothing and the pieces of plastic from the defendant's taillight, what do you observe as far as from overlaying those two sort of data points?
So I determined that they had consistent microspec data.
Again, if you could just remind the jury as far as a microspec data, what type of data is that?
So the microspec, it analyzes samples that have color. So it provides information of a sample's dyes or pigments.
Thank you very much. Ms. Gilman, you can take that down. Thank you, Ms. Hanley. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Ms. Hanley.
Good afternoon.
Nice to see you again. We met about a year ago. First things first, you were just talking about some plastic pieces in 7-18.8, correct?
It was 7-18.18.
0.18, I left a 1 out. 7-18.18. We're dealing with a lot of numbers. I'm going to see if we can cut through that here in a second.
Sure.
First of all, you indicated that you were doing a comparative analysis in different, sort of different categorical ways, using microscopy, using the microspec, using the FTIR. I think you also use the FTIR in that as well.
Yes.
And you indicated that your analysis concluded with those pieces could have come from the same source, from the source that in 3-1, the taillight. But you're not conclusively saying they did, correct?
It could have come from, they could have a common origin, or it could have come from another source with the same characteristics.
Right. So in other words, another way to say that, Ms. Hanley, is it may have come from the taillight, may not have.
It's a possibility.
Okay. I also want to ask you real quick about the taillight manufacturer. You were shown an exhibit. I think it's exhibit 200, and I think we have that available with the court's permission. Can we don't have to cut the lights. I think the lighting is just fine. This is exhibit or a photograph of exhibit 200 that you saw just a second ago. Quick question about that. In your inspection of that taillight, it's true, is it not, that is manufactured entirely of plastic or plasticine pieces? There is no glass in that taillight, correct?
I have to check my notes. I don't think I noted any glass.
Okay. So in other words, you didn't note any glass inherent in the manufacture of that taillight. It's basically plastic.
Yeah, I think most of the parts were plastic. I'm not 100% sure if the entire thing was plastic. There may have been other material, but portions were plastic.
But you certainly didn't see any glass inherent in the manufacture process.
I'd have to double check my notes, but I don't think I did.
Okay.
Do you want her to check her notes?
Why don't you? Are your notes in front of you?
Yes.
With the court's permission.
Yes, sure.
Okay, so I did not make any notation that I noted portions that were glass.
Great. Final point before we get into the actual analysis. On any of the glass, I want to shift gears to just the glass material that you analyzed and that you looked at and you inspected. You saw no blood, no skin, no biological material, no tissue, human tissue or otherwise, on any of those pieces that you inspected, did you?
Upon examination of those items, making observations of those types of material, that's not my area of expertise. I don't think I noted anything that was maybe consistent with that.
So in other words, even though you're not in the bio material expert section of the lab, you certainly would have noted if there was skin or biological material or obvious blood on glass pieces. You were looking at them in many cases through a stereo microscope, correct?
Yes, I would have made note of observations of anything that I would have noted on the surface.
Great, and you did not, because you didn't see anything that was suggestive of that, right?
I think I just made note, I'd have to check each item, but I think I did note that there was some dirt debris on some of the items.
But not biological material.
I did not note anything that would be maybe consistent with that.
Great, thank you. I want to talk about the comparisons that you did. And you'll forgive me, I'm a visual learner. So I'd like to talk about it in 4 categories.
Okay.
Linear categories. Category 1, item 3-2. Category 2, item 3-3. Category 3, item 7-12. Category 4, item 7-14. 3, 2, 3, 3, 7, 12, 7, 14. Can we talk about them in those particulars?
Sure.
Okay. 3-2 was the cup, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And I'm going to use the word cup rather than glass for obvious reasons. You can get confused by that. So when I say the cup, Do you know what I'm talking about?
Item 3-2.
Great. 3-3 are the 5 items that were found on the bumper, claimed to have been found on the bumper by MSP or crime. Okay?
Yes,
5 items, A, B, C, D, and E, correct?
correct.
Item 7-12 are 9 items, glass items, that were recovered at 34 Fairview by Trooper Buchanan in an evidence envelope, correct?
So sustained as to who they were recovered from.
Sure. Did you receive the items along with an evidence envelope?
I need to double check if it was an envelope, but I received it packaged.
Okay. And the packaging normally, under normal circumstances, the packaging comes with labels. It gives you reference about where things came from. For instance, when Mr. Lally asked you, were you aware or did you become aware that items were claimed to have been found on the bumper? You didn't actually find those items, but that was the description you were given, correct?
That was the description of the item in our limb system.
Okay. And going back to 7-12, that's our third category. Was that described as 9 pieces of glass that were found at 34 Fairview by a sergeant by the name of Buchanan? Or do you recall that?
I am not sure who recovered them.
Well, what it said on the evidence envelope, that's what I'm asking.
I would have to check my photos to see if it says that.
We'll get to that in just a second. Fair enough. 7-12, 9 items, A, B, C, D, E. And if my memory serves, I, K, and L.
I'd have to refer to my notes to,
Can you please?
yes. So the 9 pieces of glass from 7-12 were labeled A, B, C, D, E, F, I, K, and L.
Great. And then finally, what was in 7-14, that's an easy one, 1 piece of glass.
That's correct.
Okay. Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
If I could, Ms. Hanley, I'm going to hand you photographs. That should be 2 photographs of the exact same thing. Do you recognize what's depicted in that photograph?
I've never seen, I did not take this photo.
Understood.
So I'm not, I haven't seen them, so I don't know.
So I'm asking you to look. I know you haven't seen
Yeah.
that photo. Does it look like the cup?
It looks consistent with the cup.
Okay. Just gonna set this aside for a second. Take a look at the second photo. Do you recognize what's depicted in that photo?
So I did not take this photo. It appears to be a photo of a container that another 7-12.
And item 7-12, once again, included plastic pieces and 9 glass pieces, correct?
Correct.
Do you see the evidence label on the very top of that evidence envelope?
I'm not sure which label you're talking
The
about.
one
Oh,
under the red tape.
yes.
Does that appear to be a label marker that's done to maintain chain of custody?
So I think that label, um, sorry.
Sure, can we bring these over to the side?
Sure.
Yeah, Travis keeps saying when we win the lottery, we're gonna redo the house and get a pool, and then we can hire somebody to take care of the pool. And I keep saying, yeah, but you can't win what you don't play. Every once in a while, he'll go buy a lottery ticket. He bought one last weekend, but I don't think he's checked it.
Jurors, sometimes we're at sidebar in an effort to try and speed things up. So even though we take your time that way, this should make things move a little easier.
So you can cut that one down and maybe.
Thank you. Ms. Hanley, I was asking you previously, we'd already looked at what's been marked for identification as triple G. I was asking you about what has now been marked as triple H. If you'll just look at that, what I'm most interested in is, do you see a name, other's name, in the middle of that evidence bag?
Yes, it
Is that Buchanan?
looks like it says.
Okay, and just so we're clear, that bag is associated with 7 dash.
Yes, again, I didn't take this photo, but I have,
I
yeah.
realize that. It says 7 dash 12
Yeah.
right on the photo. doesn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, that's all I need. Taking a look at what triple I for identification. You see a name associated with that evidence bag.
Yes.
What name is that?
It's actually a little hard to read. It looks like it says, it could say Trooper Proctor.
Okay, and that is associated with 7 dash 14, our fourth category, correct?
It is labeled as, excuse me, 7-14.
And finally, does that, which has been marked as, for identification at least, as triple J, does that appear to be the contents of that bag, which is a single piece of glass in 7 dash 14?
This appears to be the photo that the analyst prior to me took of item 7-14.
And that would be analyst Valier.
Correct.
You see her initials there.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So the four categories, just so we're clear, and stop using so many confusing. 3-2 is the cup.
Yes.
3-3 is the bumper glass, correct?
That is correct.
7-12 is the Buchanan glass, correct?
Yes.
7-14 is the Proctor glass, the single piece, correct?
Correct.
So when I make reference to those items, by those, know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Hesitant.
Oh, I just, I'm just used to referring to them to the item numbers, but I will try to stay with you.
My brain will melt if we can.
Should you do it both, Mr. Jackson?
Sure. Any way that you wish. Another document that I'd like to approach with, if I could, with the court permission.
Okay.
Thank you. I'd like to take a look. Have you ever seen that before, or a variation of it?
Yes.
Okay, saw it last year, correct, or something close to it last year?
It looks consistent.
Okay.
Okay.
What's happening now, Nancy, is they're quibbling over what they're calling the evidence. Rather than call it by letters and numbers, the defense wants it to have easier names so the jury can remember what they're looking at. And remember who is. Tell me this is the class. This is the tail light. This is the what it brought you. That I'll remember. Dadgummit, this Gimli doll is just as ornery as the dwarf himself. I'm gonna put you down and go work on something else. I got up early. I wanted to watch the OJ trial, and I forgot that Court Vibes doesn't stream on Wednesday, so I got up early for nothing. Now I'm tired.
Somebody the copy that I do.
Approach?
Yes. Not this identification.
Happy to.
The KKK for there's the KKK. Who asked about that?
Ms. Hanley, if I could ask very briefly, I want to go through this chalk with you for a moment. Do you recognize something on the left, looking at the first category? Do you see 3-2?
Yes,
How is that described?
it's described as a cup.
Okay, and you see there's a photographic representation of the cup. Moving to the second category. What category is that?
It's item 3-3.
And 3-3, first of all, there's a photograph above it. Do you see that?
Yes,
It appears to be of a bumper, correct?
yes,
You didn't take that picture.
I did not.
Okay, let's look down beneath it. You indicated that there were 5 items in 3-3, A, B, C, D, and E, correct?
Correct.
Do you see A, B, C, D, and E represented in that category on this chart?
I do see A, B, C, D, E
You see it on the page?
categorized. Yes,
Great. Under A, you previously testified that the bumper glass sub A in 3-3 did not match the cup, correct?
that's correct.
Did not match anything in 7-12?
Sorry, just give me one moment. That's correct.
And did not match anything in 7-14?
That's correct.
And you see those represented by sort of the international symbol for negative, correct? A circle with a line through it. Correct?
Yes,
Okay. Under subcategory B, glass B, or item 3-3B, did not match the cup, did not match 7-12, did not match 7-14.
that's
Is
correct.
that accurately represented on the chart?
Yes,
Finally, with regard to E as an echo in that same item, 3-3, you see that there is a green indication that glass recovered by Proctor does match or did match in your analysis, or was consistent with the item in 7-14, correct?
It was consistent microscopically and instrumentally.
Does
With-
that accurately reflect that finding on this chalk?
Hey, Terry.
Yes,
Okay, now, correct?
correct.
A through F, I, K, and L. Is that right?
If I could just reference my report to make sure.
Of course.
Yes, those are the correct letters.
And A, B, C, D, F, and K all matched the cup, correct?
Again, I would just need to confirm with my report.
Take your time.
Yes, so A, B, C, D, F, and K
All matched the cup.
had a physical match to 3-2, the cup.
Is that accurately represented on this chart? With green.
Yes,
And E is in Echo, I is in India, and I think that's L is in Lima, did not match the cup, correct?
that's correct.
Okay, is that accurately represented on this chart?
Yes,
And finally, the last category, 7-14, that is the single piece of glass that was recovered by Trooper Proctor. That did not match the cup, and it did not match anything in 7-12, correct? And if you need to check your notes, feel free.
yes, that's correct.
Is that accurately represented on the chart?
Yes,
Your Honor, I would move for the admission with the amendment that the court indicated at sidebar of triple K.
Okay, I'm going to allow it in.
205.
205? Your Honor, the court indicated that it would like to see us before anything's published to the jurors.
Okay, come on over for a second. Actually, have those have those been done?
It has been done, and I was going to explain at sidebar.
All right, then come on over. $205.
Thank you. Request permission to publish.
Yes.
Ms. Hanley, you see the chalk that's been, or actually what's been marked as Exhibit 205 in evidence on the screen?
Yes.
Is that consistent with what you and I were just talking about at the witness stand?
Yes.
If you'll direct your attention to the screen on the right, just because it's a little easier and I think the laser pointer shows up a little better. Do you see the 4 categories represented in this exhibit?
Yes.
Okay, so 3-2, I'm going to go over it very quickly one more time, just visually. 3-2 on the left is the cup, correct?
Yes.
3-3 represents the 5 pieces of glass of what we've called the bumper glass, A, B, C, D, and E, correct?
Yes.
7-12 is the 9 pieces of glass recovered by Trooper Buchanan at 34 Fairview, correct?
Yes.
And finally, 7-14 is the single piece of glass recovered by Trooper Proctor, correct?
Yes.
Taking these one by one, just so everybody see? Taking these one by one, looking at starting with the bumper glass, category 2. Piece A did not match the cup, anything in 7-12 or anything in 7-14, correct?
That's correct.
Piece B did not match the cup, did not match anything in 7-12, did not match anything in 7-14, correct?
That's correct.
And moving over to category 3, there were some matches in these 9 items, 6 of them, A, B, C, D, F, and K, correct?
Yes.
But what those matched, Ms. Hanley, with a cup, nothing on the bumper, correct?
Correct.
And what didn't match the cup were E, I, and L. Is that right?
That's correct.
Moving back to category 2, however, there was one thing, item E, that did match something in this series of categories. Isn't that right?
Not a physical match, but instrumentally there was consistency.
All right. And this is an item, the only piece of bumper glass, the only piece of bumper glass to match anything else in your analysis. Matched what? What was consistent with what?
Item 3-3, piece E was consistent in physical and instrumental properties with the sample that I took from item 7-14.
Which is the single piece of glass recovered by Michael Proctor, correct?
Yes.
But not a single piece of glass, nothing that you analyzed coming from that bumper matched the cup. Did it? Nothing.
Physical match comparison, there was no physical match comparison to the cup.
Are we done with this, Mr. Jackson?
We can take this down, Your Honor. Your Honor, that's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Lally?
As far as you were asked some questions on cross-examination about biologic reference that was done in another unit, correct?
Yes, if
Not really.
that type of examination was needed, that would be done in a different unit.
Objection, Your Honor.
I'm going to allow that, but next question.
Which unit would that be conducted in?
Objection.
So the objection sustained. You need more, Mr. Lowry.
She
before
never
you move on.
said.
Now, as far as the chalk that you were just presented, as far as the 4 photographs that were depicted in there, have you ever seen any of those 4 photographs before?
No.
Do you know specifically who or where any of the items 3-2, 3-2, 3-3, 7-12, or 7-4 were physically recovered from?
I just have the description that's put in the LIMS system when it's submitted to the lab.
And do you know that 3-2, the drinking glass, was recovered by the Canton Police Department on January 29th, 2022?
Objection.
Sustained.
Do you know that item 3-3, the bumper glass, was recovered by Ms. Maureen Hartnett from your lab on February 1st, 2022?
Sustained.
Do you know that each of the 4 items were recovered by different people on different
Objection,
dates
Your
at
Honor.
different
May
locations?
we approach?
Yes.
I don't understand why those kinds of questions get objected to. Is it because it would be supposition? I thought you were allowed to ask if they knew something, and if they said no, then you move on. I've heard so much about the O'Keefes. I don't know if it's right. I heard that his dad was actually living in his house with him and not with Peg at the time. So if that's true, where was dad at the time that all this happened? Was he at John's house or was he at his house with Peg? And that he believes that Karen didn't do it.
Ms. Hanley, from your conclusions that you testified about before, you found that the item glass was consistent with 6 different pieces from item 7-12 that were found in the roadway outside of 34 Fairview Road, correct?
That's correct.
And you also found that piece E from item 3-3, the bumper glass, was consistent with the single piece from item 7-14 that was found in the roadway outside of 34 Fairview Road. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And you also found that items from 7-18.18, the debris from Mr. O'Keefe's clothes, with the item 3-1, the taillight housing, correct?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained as to form.
Now, as far as the chalk that you were presented with on cross-examination, was there anything in there about item 7-18.18 or item 3-1, either the taillight housing or the debris from Mr. O'Keefe's clothing?
No, there was not.
Nothing further.
Anything?
Very briefly. So in sum, not a single piece of glass on that bumper could be connected to that cup, correct?
There was no physical match to the pieces that I compared for physical match from the bumper. There was no physical match to the glass cup 3-2.
Thank you. So another way of saying that is not a single piece of glass that you analyzed on that bumper matched that cup, correct?
Sustained.
Why?
But the one piece of glass that did match something came from the same source, it was consistent with coming from the same source as the single piece of glass recovered when in possession of or bagged by Trooper Michael Proctor, correct?
It was consistent with item 7-14.
That's all.
All right, Ms. Hanley, you are all set. I'm going to see counsel for a minute.
Just feel free to stand up and stretch.
Shake off the Reese's. Shake off the Skittles. Shake off the Reese's. Shake off the Skittles. So my cousin and I wanted to go to Mickey's Not So Very Scary Halloween party this year. It's more expensive the closer to Halloween it is. And it's like from 8. It used to be like from 8 to 2. I think now it's like 8 to 12. You can get in at 4, but the free candy doesn't start till 8. And it's over $200. But if you go in August, it's only 100 and something. So like she sends me the prices and I said, "Okay, so we're going to celebrate Halloween in the late summer this year." Cuz I'm not paying as much as a regular ticket only to get in for a few hours just to get candy and watch a special parade. I could buy my own candy for that much money.
All right, so jurors, I know you don't like it when we're in sidebar. We don't like it when we're in sidebar, but I can tell you that I'm speaking to the lawyers now. We're ahead, and they've worked very hard to get us to this point where we're ahead of schedule so that tomorrow, instead of being a half a day, you have tomorrow off. So you have tomorrow and Friday, a good long weekend. It's very, very important. Do not discuss this case with anyone. Don't say a word about this case. Don't let anybody say anything to you about this case. Don't do any independent research or investigation into this case. If you happen to see, hear, or read anything about this case, please disregard it and let us know. I believe next week, except for Thursday, are full days every day. Watch your social
It's on
media
Monday.
use
It's
this
a
week as well.
holiday,
Have a great long
right?
weekend. We'll see you here Tuesday morning, ready.
Oh,
Court, all rise to the jury.
Tuesday.
Goodbye.
Then. Oh. Gee. What? Well, the candy's free. The candy, and it's good candy. Like, it's not like, like you get kitty mixes, the cheap little kitty mixes.
So no one needs to see me about anything? We get cleared up.
Put on the record that, what's been marked for, as actions of injured is 205. We're in the process of printing a new one. One that actually within the evidence is not the one that we showed.
Okay. Right, I'd like it before we leave. So, before you leave, so. All right, have a good weekend.
Thank you. Court, all rise.
So, Mickey's Not Very Scary because you're not allowed to wear costumes in Disney. I mean, I guess like little kids can get away with it, right? Yeah, it's always nice to talk to you guys, whether court's fun or not. So, and Mickey's not so very scary. You can wear a costume. They have a special parade. Um, and you get candy. And it's good candy. It's brand name Snickers, uh, um, Three Musketeers, Skittles, Lifesavers, Starburst, M&Ms. It's like good candy, like good brand name candy. It's not like the cheap little kitty mix things you get to give out to your neighborhood kids, it's like good candy. Um and they might have like some Mickey Mouse themed candy thrown in there with it too, but it's good candy. But to pay as much as you do for like a regular ticket just cuz you're going to get free candy is just stupid to me. Now, the Christmas party, it's so much better. I've not been. They've changed things a little bit. I don't know if it's because of the pandemic or what, but when I went to the Christmas party, gosh, that was the year I met Travis. So it's been 19 years ago, almost 20 years ago. Um First off, it snows in Florida. It's soap bubbles though. So you have to be very very careful because by the end of the night, Main Street is so slippery from the soap that you will fall if you're not careful. But it's not soap bubbles. It's like detergent flakes, and the way I don't know the way they pump it out, it looks like snowflakes. So it looks like it's snowing, but somehow I guess the humidity in Florida or whatever, all this they pump out all these flakes of detergent that look like snow, but with the humidity and everything, it's a slippery mess by the end of the night. But I guess snow makes a slippery mess, right? So I guess it's realistic then, right? I don't know because I don't know snow. Anyway, so that's cool. And then um there's a Christmas parade and there are Christmas shows. Also, you got the characters running around in Christmas outfits. Well, and at the Halloween one, you have characters running around in Halloween outfits too. But um, so you have more things that are especially for Christmas, and the parade's really neat because the floats smell. There's a gingerbread float that smells like gingerbread. There's a chocolate one. There's a peppermint one. Like they smell. There, it's so cool. It's a really really cool parade. Um, but the best part, and they've changed this, is snickerdoodles and hot chocolate all you can eat all night long. You just go up to a restaurant and ask for the hot chocolate and your snickerdoodles all night long. Now, they still have the free hot chocolate and cookies, but the cookies are wrapped now. So you don't get that like nice warm right out of the oven cookie. They're wrapped so you can like stick them in a bag and take them home with you if you want to, which I guess that's a good thing. I don't know. I've not been since they started wrapping them up. So I don't know if they're fresh baked and then wrapped up in plastic or if they're like pre-packaged wrap, you know? I like peanut butter kisses. I love peanut butter kisses. Love, love, love peanut butter kisses. I don't like candy corn. But I know everybody's like, that's the worst Halloween candy in the world. I'm like, no, more for me. I love those things. I will, I will eat those till I get sick. You will have to take the bag, rip the bag out of my hand. because I love them and nobody else eats them. So I'm like, gimme. I love those things, but I don't like candy corn. My mom loved candy corn though. I used to eat it, and then I was like, why do I eat this? I don't like it. I used to eat it just because it was there. Like my mom ate it. My mom liked it, so I was like, I ate it because she ate it. Um, but really, I like paydays. I'll have to try that. Mix candy corn with peanuts and it tastes like payday. Hmm, I like paydays. I haven't had real candy in so long. I'm trying to think of when I had. I've been eating protein candy, which it's not bad, believe it or not. There may be a package at my door. Are you talking to me? A package at my door? Did I open it? Should I open it now? Really? Well, that's my scissors. Oh my god! Thank you! Where's the open? It's so cute! Live like Rose, dress like Blanche, think like Dorothy, speak like Sophia. That's the one I was talking about. Thank you. That's adorable. I love it. Thank you, Judy. You are the best. I love it. Thank you so much. That is great. Thank you so much. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now I want to go diamond paint. Okay, so I guess tomorrow and Friday we will do Phil Spector, and for like to like 12. So we'll have a half day tomorrow and Friday. And then we'll have a 3-day weekend. And then I guess we'll have full days Tuesday through Friday. I want to go somewhere so bad, but he has to work Saturday. We're not sure yet if he's off Monday. I'm trying to remember. We do this every Memorial Day and every Labor Day. We're like, do you get off for this holiday? Because like everybody gets off for those days. Like they're federal holidays, right? So the bank's closed, everything's closed. Why are they still open? We do this every time. We're like, are you closed? Is your store closed? We can never remember. So I don't know if he's off Monday or not. We do this every time. So he thinks they're closed, but we don't know. We won't know till Monday. Or I guess till Saturday when he gets off work. He'll say, no, I gotta work Monday. Or no, I don't have to. We can never remember. And then what really sucks is 4th of July. Because, most places do, like if 4th of July is towards the end of the week, they get, like if it's Thursday, they'll get Friday off to make it like a long weekend. But they never do. They just get 4th of July off. And then his birthday is July 2nd. So it would be nice if just one time he could have his birthday off and then July 3rd and July 4th. And then if it's close to the weekend, like a long weekend, and then we could have like a little mini vacation over his birthday. But it never works out good. It never, ever works out like that. So he doesn't have benefits. He doesn't have vacation. He doesn't have anything like that. And we're just ready for him to retire. He's not old enough yet, but we're like, we have so many plans. I just cannot wait for him to retire so we can go someplace and do something. Because like anything we want to do now it has to be like a day trip. It's a Monday this year. It's a Monday. So that would make his birthday a Saturday. I hope he doesn't have to work. Also with the dogs that we have now too, they're they're old, and like we couldn't even go to like a hotel where they allow dogs because with Belle's bladder the way it is, we would have to take like puppy pads and like put them all over the hotel room, because like she can't even hold it. But you know what? She can. Well, I don't know. I was gonna say she does hold it. Like if we go to the store or something. Oh, so his birthday's Wednesday. So if he's off that Saturday, he'll get a long weekend at least. But I don't know if he's off that Saturday or not. I'll have to figure it out. I was gonna say, well, they don't go in the house when we're gone, like when we go shopping or something. But I don't know, maybe she does. We just don't know it. We need new carpet. Or not carpet. We need to pull the old carpet up and put down like flooring, like dog proof flooring that looks like wood. Bye, Jill. Um, but if we had dogs that we like, I'm never gonna not have a pet. That's non-negotiable. But I want to have pets that I can travel with them or they can be left at home. And cats you can leave. That's why I always had cats. You can leave cats for a couple days and they're fine. But I don't know. That Travis wants to get an RV so we can travel with the pets. I'm like, do you realize what it's gonna be like to have? Seriously, you think we can have 2 beagles and a cat in an RV and be in peace? I don't think that's gonna work. I don't. We're never gonna be able to afford any of this stuff that we want, though. It's just, I'm the type of person that like, I don't want to have a bunch of dreams that aren't ever gonna come true, and he's just the opposite. he watches videos about RVs and jet skis and side by sides and all this stuff he wants to have. And I'm like, why are you watching that? Because you don't know. We might be able to have it one day. You don't know. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm never going to be able to afford that. That's not going to happen. But I figure, whatever. Let him have his dreams. So, dreams don't cost anything. So, okay, guys, I will see you in the morning for Phil Spector, and I'm kind of glad we're getting a break from this because this week has been lousy because it's been um all experts. The highlight of the week has been Alessi um calling that guy out on his resume being screwed up. That was the highlight of the week. So that's not good as far as highlights go. Been pretty boring. So I will see you guys in the morning. Have a good evening, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Remember, be kind to people, love your family, and Jesus loves you, and so do I. Bye, guys.